Welcome to the Fit Girl Magic podcast. If you are ready to find your inner magic, develop great habits, and a rock steady mindset to feel confident, comfortable, and fit in your body, you are in the right place. I am Kim Barnes Jefferson, and I'll be giving you weekly doses of health, fitness, and life tips sprinkled with humor and real talk. If you're ready to be consistent without the stress of perfection, magic makers, it's time to slip into your favorite pair of PJs, grab some coffee, kick back, and listen to today's show. All right. How are you doing today, magic makers? I am in a makeshift studio today. I went on vacation and I completely forgot all of my stuff. So I'm hoping that this audio is coming through great and that my lovely Derek and Francesca can give me a little pump up in post-production. So what I wanted to talk today is about patience. And this came up today because I have been doing a few check-ins. A bunch of new clients have come in through a summer program that I'm working on, and we'll talk about later in the program. And a lot of them are like, Kim, I just need you to tell me what to do. Just give me a meal plan and I'll do it. And, I hear you. Like when I first started, that's what you did, right? You gave meal plans and you're like, please be compliant. I hope you can follow this. And then, what happened was, would follow this meal plan because we thought that it was going to give us this like magical transformation, like boom, boom, boom. And what I need to tell people is that transformation is about patience. And especially now that, many of us are in our 40s and we have been on this like yo-yo diet trend for a really long flipping time. And our bodies are like, girlfriend, I know exactly what you're doing, and I ain't going to pay. I'm not going to play the game. We've played this game too many freaking times. I'm done. Uncle, peace out. And so what I want to talk about is patience, especially now that we are, most of us are coming out of our Rona haze. And, if Rona didn't throw you for a loop, right? If you didn't miss a beat when we were through Rona, be it through, your routines, exercise, nutrition, right? You're a unique unicorn and you should submit yourself to be tested for, because like clearly you got some type of genetic material that many of us did not get. And so I don't want anyone to feel bad, right? But we can't go from almost a year and a half of kind of sorta to being like, I need to like bust this out in like 3.3 seconds, right? Because that's just not how our bodies work. Our bodies don't turn on the dime as much as we wish that our bodies turned on the dime. I wish this was an Amazon Prime situation, but it ain't Amazon Prime. It is not Amazon Prime. So let's be honest. Now is the time for us to really focus on patience. And today's show is all about that. And, for some of us, we might need to get a little deep, a little introspective about what it is we're trying to achieve as far as when it comes to our goals, but also, can we do it, right? Can we just like slow down for one hot bleeping minute and really make this happen? So you need to understand what your motivations are and maybe why you might be a little resistant to the change, right? What is some of the things that come up for you that make you feel a little uncomfortable that, you might have to pump the brake on? And why is it so important to change like right freaking now versus what would giving yourself 3-6 months from now actually do for that, right? I get it. We live in this instant gratification world and, thank you, Amazon, right? We think Amazon Prime is works for our body, that it's going to be in 2.2 seconds. We're going to, change our bodies that, if I wake up on Monday and say, hey, I'm going to be this hottie by Friday. And if it's not here by Friday, I'm pissed. That's where we have to start first, right? We need to be clear about what it is that you want for your outcome to be, right? Let's define it. What do we want the outcome to be? And be clear about the definition, right? I read a check-in today that I want to be medically fit. Okay, that's a very broad, right? Like, what does a medically fit mean? Has your doctor told you about blood pressure, cholesterol, whatever, body composition? Like, what is medically fit? So we can clearly define what that is. Everybody knows where you're coming from. Everyone knows, if this is GPS, everyone knows the street that we're trying to get to. So first, let's step back and define what the heck is patience. And patience is the ability to tolerate discomfort, right? And if you think about it, losing weight, doing something differently, it's uncomfortable. It's like sand in your bathing suit. And I'm talking about sand in your nether regions, kind of uncomfortable. And so waiting for something that we desire greatly brings up, it could bring up a lot of our negative feelings because we don't want to wait, right? Like I said, we decided that we're going to lose the weight. So why can't it be right now? And if you think about it, the weight didn't come on like that. So the weight shouldn't come off like that, right? So our patience is greatly divided. Um, so like our patience is greatly developed throughout our lives, right? Some of us have patience for other things, and we don't have patience for, we might have patience for one thing, but we don't have patience for other things. I don't have patience for waiting in a line. Like I'm just there's someplace better, someplace other than waiting in a line. And when Rona first hit, one of my favorite places that I used to go regularly, Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's always had a flipping line, and I was like, you know what? There ain't really anything else in Trader Joe's that I absolutely love. I like it, but I don't like it enough to get into this damn line. Right. So maybe some of you, oh no, Trader Joe's, I would get into that line. I have the patience to wait into that line. Right. That's where we live. Same thing with my weight. I am one of those people that I wanted Amazon Prime. And, for me, I had to take a long road. It took 6 years, right? I had to have 6 years worth of flipping patience to get to where I am right now. Now, would you have asked me 6 years ago would I have had that patience? No, I didn't have that patience, but it had to be kind of, you know, shook into me that I had to have a path, I had to have a process. If not, I was going to keep repeating the same patterns over and over and over again and getting more and more frustrated as I went through. Anyone sound familiar, right? So let's keep going. All right. So patience is amazing because it will lower our stress. And so many women are like, "Oh my god, I'm so stressed out." Right? This year has been stressful. What the hell is Rona? And am I going to get it? And how many bleach wipes can I get when I go to the grocery store? Worried about aging parents, worried about homeschooling our kids, and you're like, "Dang, I didn't know algebra when I was supposed to know algebra. How am I supposed to help my kids with this?" Right? So we've had so much stress in our lives, but when we develop patience around areas of our life, it helps to lower our stress, right? There are times that we do have stress, but our goal is that we have these stressful periods and then we bring them down, right? Being on high alert isn't something that our bodies are used to. And for those people who are on high alert, a lot of it is cortisol that is just like coursing through our body. That's like, it doesn't know the difference between you being chased by a saber-toothed tiger or the fact that your boss is like, I need this by Monday, and you're like, and it's Friday at 5 p.m. Right? So your body has no idea what that is. So a lot of us need to like find patience, a way to like chill ourselves right out. And stress comes from also like our raised expectations, right? We tell ourselves that I can lose the weight in 2.2 seconds. I can, reduce my calories. I can do this. I can do that. And when you can't, that's when you're like, I suck. I wasn't supposed to do this. See, it's a sign, right? So first, let's talk about why I want to have a little patience. Because when I have a little patience, I don't go to that negative place. I don't go, my mindset doesn't go from I'm awesome to like, oh shoot, it didn't happen in 2 days to I suck, right? If that was a dial. When we have patience, we make improved decisions, right? Because think about it. When you step on the scale and you haven't lost 500 pounds in 5 minutes, you're pissed. And so the first thing you think about is like, how can I be more extreme? What else can I cut, right? Short of losing a limb, nothing, right? You are doing just fine. Then it comes to, looking in the mirror. We all start to make these like radical decisions because it's not happening fast enough. And so when we have patience, we have more control and more resiliency. And so we're able to make more of an educated decision And, I have a program called Lifestyle 66. And so one of the women is going through the program right now, she was one of those extremes. She's like, Kim, I want to lose X number of pounds in, 2.2 seconds. And when we started Lifestyle 66, she's like, you know what, Kim? She's like, what I find is that as I'm going through the program and I'm checking the boxes, I'm able to see patterns of why I did what I did. And I was like, so good, so good, right? Now she's able to feel control and she's able to have resiliency, and one slip up isn't going to take her out of the game. All right. And this is how we know that we are being impatient, right? So you're not in the moment, you're always future casting. And I was the I was the king, queen, queen of future casting. I always future casted. I always future casted. I always was like, oh, um, I always future casted. I was like, oh, this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and it was partly my job, right? Before I did this, I was a meeting planner, so my job was always I was always at least 6 months ahead of where we were in space and time. So it was just an occupational hazard for me to always be future casting of like, okay, in 6 months, this is what I want to be. I want to be bikini ready, and in order to be bikini ready, I should be there right now because, like, I'm already starting to order things for the trade show that I'm working on in 6 months. And so I totally get what that was. And you want the good things and you want them right now. And so the big thing is like, you have to say to yourself, what actions can I do today? Right. It's key to know where you want to be. It's key to know that, like, in 6 months, I'm going on vacation and this is where I want to be. Awesome. All right. Now let's bring it back where it's like we've inputted the destination into the GPS. Now let's input it back that, like, I'm now just getting in the freaking car and turning it on. So after I turn on the car, it might just be like step one, back out of the driveway. All right. Before we start thinking about I'm getting on this road and this road, it's like find your keys, get in the car. And so that's where we have to start to really think about it versus, oh, I'm on a road trip and I'm going to California, and in California, this is going to happen. And oh my God, it's going to be so great. Because then we start to try to speed it up in our minds. And so we start to feel the pressure, and we don't give ourselves grace to accept where we are right now. And we always beat ourselves that we think we should be further ahead. And the one thing that really this quote has helped me um tremendously when I find myself like in that like overthinking mindset, I'm like, oh my God, I should be here, I should be here, I should be here, is that this quote from Arthur Ashe. And it says, start where you are, do what you can. Hold on, gotta flip the page. Do what you can with what you have, right? So what I like about it's a template. So start where you are. So let's just do a true assessment. So if I'm gonna use the thing, I'm going on vacation in 6 months. So start where I am. Where am I? Do an assessment. How are my workouts going right now? How is my food going? How is my sleep going right now? Right? How is my stress? So that I can start to say, okay, what's not in alignment with me getting to my goal in 6 months? Then I can say, okay, now that I've done the assessment, start where I am. So if I'm someone who just is getting back into working out, I should not expect myself to go back to what I was maybe 2, 3 years ago when I had a consistent workout program where I'm like, I'm going to wake up on Monday and it's going to be a 6 day a week workout, 2 hours or bust. And if I can shampoo my hair and sit on the toilet without feeling pain in my quads, it is not a workout, right? We can't expect this. So I'm going to start where I am. So if I'm just kind of coming out of my Rona haze, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to do 2 days a week. I'm like, I can easily commit to 2 days a week of working out. I'm going to commit to making sure that I have a salad for lunch, right? And I'm going to commit that I go to bed on time, right? Those are the things I'm going to commit to versus like all the things, because when we try to commit to all the things, we don't do them. And then we get pissed, and then we show it as a sign, and then we like, might be like, I'm gonna start again on Monday, I'm gonna start again on Monday, I'm gonna start again on Monday, right? So here's where I want you to really think about. Like, what causes you to be impatient with your goals? Are you triggered by social media? Are you seeing some, rando on social media and they're crushing their goals and or they, lost 600 pounds in 6 minutes, right? Because one of my really good friends, Sarai, she says, how you lose your goal, how you get to your goal is how you have to keep your goal. So if you're getting to your goal is some extreme, juice cleanse, detox, you're going to juice cleanse and detox your whole damn life. And I don't know about you, but that sounds like crap. It sounds like hell, and I don't want to do that. So I want you to think about, what triggers you? Um, is it a comment that someone that you care about said? And I hear people are like, "Oh, this person at work." Well, do you give a rat's pine parts about that person at work, or some rando on the internet, right? Or is it something that came from a loving space? Did it come from your doctor who says, I'm concerned that if you don't lose the weight, I'm going to have to increase your meds? Is it concern from your child who says, I wish you could play with me, play with me without breathing heavy? Like where is this pressure coming from? And how do you move on? Maybe you've come to it on your own and you've kind of said, I need to do this. I need to slow down to speed up. So, how do you move on? First, there has to be a plan, right? You have to decide one, like we talked, where the hell are you going? What's the GPS um, address? Then, what are the obstacles that regularly come up? Like when you are trying to achieve this goal, what are the obstacles that regularly pop up for you? And how do you, go over, under, or smash right through it? How do you do it? And maybe you're like, these obstacles regularly come up. I don't know how to do it. I keep tripping over my own damn feet and I need some support, right? Raise your hand. You asking for support when it comes to health and fitness or health, anything else, isn't a sign of weakness. It's like, you know what? I want to get through this faster. I want to make this transformation faster. And there are other people who have gone through it. Think about it as a guide, right? Have you ever gone on vacation and you've gone on one of these guided tours? That's what a coach is, right? A coach is that person who leads you through on the guided tour where they're like, they know exactly where to go, where to be. A few years ago, there's this beautiful church in Barcelona, and it's been built for like over 100 years, and I want to say in the next couple of years it's going to be like the 100th anniversary, and they're really racing to get this church finished, and it's called La Madre, and I'll link it up in the show notes. Anyway, my husband and I just fell ass backwards into this tour. And the guy just literally like took us through every in and out of that church. And it was absolutely fabulous. And let me tell you, that's what a coach does. A coach gives you all the ins and outs and tells you the story behind your damn stories, right? Helps you to break free of those stories. So if you're gonna you gotta stop letting your perfections hold you back. Stop letting your insecurities of like, oh, this must make me seem like a weak person. No, 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 no. What makes you seem like a weak person is when you continue to just keep pressing that reboot button, because that sucks. And you probably are done. You probably are so sick of pressing that reboot button over and over and over again. So let's stop keeping perfection from holding us back. Let's stop keeping, our vanity from holding us back. And let's ask questions. Let's get the help and support that you need in order to get your goals. Because, our life is the two things I always say to my clients is that how you are able to like move forward is that you start to accept responsibility for you, right? It's not the stress, it's not your job, it's not your husband, it's not your kids, it's you, right? You ultimately are the person who makes the decision about what you do, what actions that you take in your life. And so if you do take an action that isn't in alignment with where you want to go, here's where you just reflect and you move on, right? You don't start to take on, what does this mean, right? A lot of people when they first like kind of have their spiritual awakening, everything is like spiritual, like, well, what does the spirits mean? And no, no, no. Sometimes seeing a turkey cross your path is just seeing a turkey cross your path. There's no spiritual meaning. So spiritual meaning do that. So I just want you to feel so good about you, right? Be in the moment. Decide that, you know what, I don't need to have this overnight. I can have this, it's accessible to me, but I just need to take my time with it. And it'll come when it comes, right? So there's a saying that I always say to myself, like when I find myself getting impatient, because I am impatient. I don't want you to think that. Um, if it's meant for me, it will not pass me by, right? So I keep saying that over and over again when I do feel myself um, stressed, completely stressed. And it's like, I, as I close this out, I want you to think that I have to focus on one thing at a time, right? I I see so many people that like, I want to lose weight, I want to run a marathon, and they're going through a really stressful personal time. And there's just too many, competing activities going on at the same time. Where if we have focus on one thing, we can see the dial move. But when we're trying to focus on like 10 things, it's like chasing rabbits, right? And we all know rabbits or squirrels, right? If you've never seen a rabbit, squirrels, they're like all over the place. They're here, they're scurrying all over the place, right? Also, give yourself a buffer. Build in, 1 to 3 things. Like that's it. Like 1 to 3 things that you can do because inevitably, whatever you think you're going to do, it takes more time, right? How many times have you been working on a project and you're like, oh, it'll take me 3 minutes to finish this spreadsheet. And then somehow like the formulas don't copy or it's not saving or just it doesn't behave the way it normally behaves. And you're just like, what in Sam Hill is going on? And you're just like, crap, right? That's weight loss from time to time. That's how it happens. And, as I wrap this up, I want you to think about why do we feel like we need to get to a goal by a certain time? Why do we feel that pressure? Right. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's about how do you sit, like literally sit in that discomfort, right? That discomfort that is just, sand in the bottom of your bathing suit, sand in your shoes. Like, how do you just sit in that discomfort? Because that's what's going to help you to make better decisions. That's what's going to be like, okay, the next time I go to the beach, I'm going to make sure I rinse my butt out in the waves before I get in the car and drive 2 hours back to wherever I live, right? Those are the things that we start to think about. And, what I'd like to say is patience is a choice. And you decide that it's worth learning, or you decide that it's worth repeating the same patterns over and over again. And I know for many of you, we're in our 40s and some of us feel like we've been dieting since we're 15. And I get that. All right. And that's one of the reasons why I created Lifestyle 66. It is a way to show you how you build your own particular habits, right? I started the show by saying, everyone wants a meal plan. If I just had a meal plan, I would know what to do. If I just had a meal plan, I would know what to do. Blah, blah, blah. Right? If meal plans worked for everybody, everyone would have one meal plan for the rest of their life and it would work magically. But this is what I know. Meal plans only work until they don't. Meal plans only work until you go on vacation and you're like, oh crap, I don't know what to do. When I used to give meal plans, I had a girl literally, I on the meal plan was like kiwis and grapefruit. She went to the grocery store and they didn't have either. And she was like, I don't know what to do with myself. Like literally texting me like every 5 minutes, like waiting for me to get back to her. And I was like, you know what? I have to be done. Right. I instead of her going back and forth between kiwi, grapefruit, I can't find it and being all stressed out, I was like, I should tell her that it's just fruit. That's what like fruit is fruit. So that's what Lifestyle 66 is. It shows you how to create a habit over 66 days. And it's a visual representation of how to do that. And it basically is like you pick any habit that you're trying to accomplish over 66 days, and you have me there to support you and guide you through that. So you're not just feeling like, oh, I'm just checking boxes going on, like just in case you get tripped up. How are we going to get through that particular obstacle? And what helps you brainstorm different strategies and tips to like really help you accelerate through for 66 days. So if that sounds of something that's interest to you, do me a favor, shoot me a DM and let's set up a time to talk and so that we can find the best way to get you through Lifestyle 66. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been absolutely fabulous. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you know how to reach me. If something in this podcast will resonate with you, do me a favor, screenshot it and make sure you tag me in the socials and share it with a friend. All right, I will talk to you next week. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for listening to the Fit Girl Magic podcast. If you've made it this far, yay. I'm thinking you enjoyed the show. Let's continue the conversation on Instagram. You can find me at Kim Jefferson Coach. In order for me to keep sharing this message, do me a favor and leave me a 5-star review on iTunes. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss an episode. New episodes are available every Wednesday. The Fit Girl Magic podcast is intended to provide you with tips, tools, and strategies that will help you make better decisions about your health. I really appreciate your feedback and your support. Thank you so much.